America, come on now, man. Who the fuck y'all think y'all fooling with this shit, man? I'm on to y'all, though. Y'all might be fooling everybody else, but y'all ain't fooling me. So you mean to tell me y'all flew 6 bitches? Katy Perry, what the fuck y'all flying Katy Perry and Gayle King out of space for? Y'all flew 6 bitches with makeup on out of space and back in 11 minutes. They ain't do no research or nothing. They just went to space to come back. Now, mind you, it take a motherfucker 4 hours to fly from Chicago to LA, but they flew to outer space and back in 11 minutes. Then y'all got them looking out the window and shit like that space. Man, that's a fucking green screen. Who the fuck y'all think y'all fooling, man? Y'all funny as hell, boy, on baby, boy. Y'all, so they flew through the firmament, and then look what they flew inside of. They flew out of space and back inside of a fucking sex toy. They flew inside of a Rose toy. That little ass object, they flew out of space and back, huh? Inside of a webcam. Through the firmament and all. Stop it, man. Y'all ain't fooling us, man. Y'all know people on y'all. Motherfucker, you go on TikTok, they firmament and all that shit. Motherfuckers on y'all. It ain't no outer space. Outer space is deep in the water, man. If you go deep in the water, you will end up If you go deep in the water, you will go through the water and end up in the sky. Everything works like this. If you ask me, that's what I think. So that's why when it rains, the rain really coming from the ocean and it's coming through the sky. You get what I'm saying? That's how I think this shit works. Y'all not fooling me. Y'all are ugly ass, man.
Got it?
Seconds.
Okay.
Here we go. Legs, breath, pull back. On top, breathe. 1, 2, 3, breathe. Legs, back, squeeze the back, squeeze the legs in, breathe. Breathe. 1, 2, hold the breath for 3 seconds. Breathe. 1, 2, 3, breathe. 1, 2, 3. Okay, stay tight, coming down, terminate, let go of the stick,
All right, Shalom, Shalom. First off, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash, giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS, salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the 4 corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, or the men and women who follow. Here's the brother Kratazah from the GMS Nebraska camp, coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, this one being entitled Eve's Fake Trip to Space. So if we go back to the video, I'm going to go ahead and put him on pause and play the video. You know, like you said, you see Katy Perry and Gayle King, all these women with makeup, as he called them, you know what I'm saying, in space. And let's see if we can... how high it wasn't Elon Musk, it was actually Jeff Bezos. But you know, how high Katy Perry's rocket flight with Blue Origin reached a maximum altitude of 62 miles or 100 kilometers above the Earth. Says this height is equivalent to the Kármán line, which is the internationally recognized boundary of space. The flight took place on April 14th, 2025. So they went 62 miles above Earth. Now, let's put that in perspective. From Omaha to Lincoln is about 60 miles, right? It is about an hour drive, all right? Maybe if you speed a little bit, you can get there in about 45 minutes. So let's just put everything into perspective and break it down, all right? So, all right. How fast? How fast is the Blue Origin rocket? The Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket can reach speeds exceeding 2,000 miles per hour, which is 3 times the speed of sound. During the recent launch with Katy Perry and other women, the rocket reached Mach 3, or 3 times the speed of sound, before the capsule separated from the booster. The entire flight, including the launch, ascent, and descent of the capsule, lasted around 10 to 11 minutes. Right? So if they were 10 to 11 minutes, they got all the way up to Mach 3, right? They got all the way up to Mach 3, 62 miles. They traveled 62 miles, and I don't know how long they were up there, but let's say they were up there it took them 4 minutes to get up there. They were up there for 3 minutes, and it took them 4 minutes to get back down, right? Well, if you would have to go down slower, so you'd have to like get up there and really in like 2 or 3 minutes, and then stay up there for a couple minutes, and then your descent would be a lot slower, of course. So, but let's just look at it like this. So, what we're going to measure is the G forces, right? So a G force is which a measure of acceleration or deceleration feels like being pushed or pulled into your seat, or feeling heavier or lighter depending on the direction of the acceleration. During fast acceleration, like in a car or on a roller coaster, you might feel a force pushing you back into your seat. While deceleration, like when braking, you might feel a force pushing you forward. Fighter pilots who experience high G forces may also experience vision problems, nausea, muscle pain due to blood pooling in their lower body as the blood is pulled away from the brain. And that's what we've seen. And like, look at this guy. He's a natural pilot, and he passed out at 400 miles an hour. You gonna tell me that these people were traveling up to 2,000 miles an hour, and ain't none of them pass out like this? Ain't none of them, they had no training? Like, look at her. She melted. She melted. Look at this guy. He's happy. He's like, yeah. He's out. Look at this. He having time of his life until he's not. Yeah. So, and you mean to tell me that they were going faster than all of these people, and nothing happened to them? Come on. Like you said, home baby. So let's do further research, right? How many miles? Because it said that the average person can experience 6 G forces, on average, just an average person. So how many miles per hour is 6 Gs? When you break it down, I'm not going to get into all of this, but when you break it down, the 6 Gs is about 132 miles an hour, right? Now, going back to our Omaha to Lincoln theory, because that's about how high they went in the air, about the distance between Omaha and Lincoln, right? I'm from Nebraska, so I'm using terms that I would understand, all right? So Omaha to Lincoln, if you put it in the air, so to speak, if you were traveling upwards, opposed to I guess east to west, or horizontal. If you're traveling vertical from Omaha to Lincoln, opposed to horizontal from Omaha to Lincoln, at about 60 miles an hour. Really, the speed limit would be like 70. So it still take you about an hour. You know what I'm saying? But either way it goes, that's about the same distance. So we know if you're traveling at 132 miles an hour, if you're traveling at 132 miles an hour, how long would it take to travel 60 miles? Let's break it down. It would take you 27 minutes at 132 miles an hour, right? It would take you 27 minutes. Remember, they were up there for a total of 11. So they had to get up there in about 3 or 4 minutes, right? Let's say they got up there in 5 minutes. Given the benefit of the doubt that they got up there in 5 minutes, that's still 5 times faster than 132, which they had to be going over 500 miles, which would mean if this guy passed out at 400, right? I don't want to play it because it got music on it. I'm gonna get a strike. But at this point, he's out, and the people in his headset, are you here? Are you here? Yeah, he said, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm here, because he passed out. They seen him, struggling. They see him struggling. All right, he's out, and they're calling his name. They're calling his name and trying to get him up. Are you there? You good? You good? Yeah. Wow. What the fuck? Yeah. You almost died. You almost crashed that bitch. You know what I'm saying? So they were traveling faster than this guy, and you mean to tell me nobody passed out? Or maybe they cut that part out of the video. No, it's like he said. They using green screen. They're in a flight simulator. This is some bullshit. All right, let's get some scriptures. All right, this is first is Genesis chapter 1 and verse 6. It says, I'm gonna back it up to verse 5. It says, and the powers called the light day, and the darkness they called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. And the power said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Now he started talking about, the ocean water is the outer space. He's going off with that, but he's not wrong, because it, so to speak, when he says, it's waters, that's what the outer space is. It's dividing these waters from those waters, right? The waters from this atmosphere from the waters of outer space, right? Oh, thank you. Verse 7, it says, and the powers made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And the powers called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. Right? So you can't get outside that firmament. There's countless spaceships that you see that like go up and they try to break the firmament, and they crash and they burn because they hit the firmament. All right. It was a rocket that I seen. It was going up, and you could hear it, and then you hear a dunk because it hits the firmament. You're not getting outside of the firmament. All right. But Esau wants to propagate, make it seem like he's this great, all-knowing, all-powerful dude, right? And Jeff Bezos, money can buy you anything, But I tell you what, it can't buy this spiritual power. It can't buy spiritual credit, but Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, this is Revelation. I started 13 and 13. It says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. All right, speaking about World War II, how they dropped the bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. It says, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, right? And this is part of the miracles. They tell you that, because after World War II, what did you have? You had the space race. You had the Cold War, which the United States and Russia were trying to get to the moon, which is a whole nother hoax. I believe I have a few videos on that on the channel. If you want to type in a search or go check them out. And I believe I know I did one last year and some years back as well. But it's just a big hoax, man. And they're deceiving the people. All right. They're showing these miracles to deceive the people. All right, let's get back to the scriptures. It says, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image of the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. All right, speaking of America, who is the reincarnation of the Roman Empire, right? It's the reinvigoration of the Roman Empire. It's coming back into life. All right, so and is doing these so-called miracles like they're doing with the sea hip, going into space, AI, you know, all these different miracles are you know, this would be considered a miracle. Look, you see some just went by. Really, come on now. How can I back this up? I can't. Let's see if we can catch it again at the beginning of the video. They were looking out the window. It looked like something went by. Y'all bear with me. All right, I think it's starting over. Maybe that's a shadow. All right, probably a shadow. All right, so let's get these last couple of scriptures and we can end it. This is Proverbs 12:5. It says, "The thoughts of the righteous are right, but the counsels of the wicked are deceit." And the wicked, who is Esau Edom, all right, that's all he preaches and teaches is deceit. All right, let's get this word deceit in the etymology. All right, deceit is trickery, treachery, lying, from the feminine past participle of deceiver, decepier, to ensnare, to take in, to beguile, to cheat. All right, the devil came to lie, cheat, and steal. You know, he's a lying wonder, and the truth is not in him. All right, he's a trickster. All right, he's the fucking devil, man. He's a deceiver. All right. That's deceit and deceiver are one and the same. All right. And if you following him, then guess what? The scriptures say that the deceiver and the deceived is his. All right. And we'll end it with this. Matthew 24 and 24. It says, "And there shall arise false Christ, all right, false anointed, and false prophets, who shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if they were possible, they shall deceive the very elect." All right. And your boy Jeff Bezos, he is a false anointed, right? Because the world worships him as an anointed, all right, not as in like the religious sense of the word, but as in the reference. They give reference to Jeff Bezos. Oh, he's one of the richest men in the world. He must have good intentions. He must want the best for you, But this is what he'll do. He'll put 6 bimbos in a flight simulator with green screen and tell you that they went to outer space to get your money or to get your mind. Really, it is to get your mind, right? But you're not going to fool the men of the Lord with this. You know what I'm saying? We can see past it. We know the scriptures. We know your game plan, E. So, it's not gonna slide. And then when you just look at the situation and break it down like I broke it down, the distance, the distance, the speed, what did actual G-forces do to you, video of what G-forces do to you, figuring out how many G's a person can stand, and then taking that and doing all the math, you're full of fucking shit, man. So, Lord's will, this is edifying. And with that being said, we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash, giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, all the men and the women who follow. Shalom.